Hi everyone, today I thought I would do the Goodreads tag, which I know is a very old tag. I believe it's like more than 2 years old, but I wasn't on BookTube back then, and I saw Haley do it on her channel and thought, I like these questions, so I'll start with the first question. What was the last book that you marked as read? It is Hillbilly, Elegy by J.D. Vance, which is J.D. Vance looking into his family and culture growing up in Ohio as well as Kentucky. I had extensive comments and thoughts about this book. If you watch my last video, I probably talked for like 5 or 6 minutes about it, just because a lot of it was very confusing / aggravating, but he did have a lot of good points as well, because obviously I'm not a part of that culture, so it was very interesting to learn about that. Question number 2 is, what are you currently reading? And for this, it's actually 2 things. I'm, for fun, reading Notorious RBG, The Life and Times of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and this is a nonfiction book written by the creator of the Tumblr account for Notorious RBG. It's just a very fun book, lots of picture, like there's charts and graphs, so it's not just like boring. It's very approachable if you're semi-interested in Supreme Court history or history in general, and you think it's cool the fact that somehow we have incorporated Biggie's personality on this frail old woman. You'd find this funny and interesting. It just feels right, and when you open it too, it's like the perfect size, the perfect glossy paper, so it's fantastically developed, like the actual physical book. I'm also reading, which I'm actually reading right now, but I have taken a break, and that is Peter Burke's A Social History of Knowledge. This is a kind of history book tracing the history of knowledge, how ideas came to be and how we lose ideas. But this is for my Wikipedia and knowledge management class, which I really enjoy this class, so I'm having fun discussing this with my peers. The next question is, what book did you last mark as TBR? Full of Beans, which I actually found on this little paper thing magazine that I got at the library that they just had there, and it was in the children's reviews. You can see there. It sounded really interesting. It's about a kid growing up in the Great Depression in Key West, which is things I'm very interested in because I am from Florida. I have visited Key West before, and I'm also very interested in, Great Depression history, and that's pretty much all I did last year for my AmeriCorps service. So I thought those 2 things were good and would come together. I also saw on here that Tahara Mafi's book, Furthermore, is also on there. So I thought that was cool. I really like this little magazine thing. The next question is, what book do you plan to read next? And for this one, I'm kind of between 2 of them. I told myself that I was going to read Esperanza Renace next, which is Esperanza Rising in Spanish, as part of Hispanic Heritage Month, so that's my goal. But I might go back and forth and read both at the same time, and also read March Book 1, which is by John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis. This is a graphic memoir about the civil rights movement and his involvement in it in the 1960s. I read like 5 pages of this, and I'm just really excited. I also got book 2, so I'm just excited to read all of them. I've heard fantastic things about this series. 2 things I'm getting to relatively soon. Question number 5 is, do you use the rating system, the star rating system? And yes, I do. I use half stars as well, but that's very limited. I try really hard not to use 0.25 or even more so. Like, I think some people, when they go like 3.9, I'm just like, that doesn't work for me. I like to have a system and keep it very like regimented, where like you have to think really carefully, is this a 3.5 or is this a 4? This can't be a 3.65. The next question was, are you doing the 2014 reading challenge? So I will just add this to my year, the year that I am actually filming this, and yes, I am doing a 2016 reading challenge. My challenge to myself, I believe, was 45 bucks, and I am way beyond that. Granted, a lot of them are graphic novels and graphic memoirs, which does slightly take away from it, but I don't think I've read that many more graphic novels and memoirs, and we're still in it's barely October, so I still think I'm doing very well for that, and I have definitely accomplished and ticked that off. Question number 7 is, do you have a wish list? And sure I do, but it's not a very serious wish list. My wish lists are really like what books I want to go get at the library. I don't really want to purchase any books right now. I want to see where my life is in, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and then I could start building my own library, but for now I don't really have a wish list. Going along with the same, question number 8 is, what do you plan to buy next, and I'm not planning on buying anything specifically, like a specific book that's coming out or something. There is going to be a book sale for the Friends of the Library, my library district, and supposedly it's one of the biggest in all of Florida, and there's like 500,000 books in 65 sections, which sounds amazing, and it runs for like a week. I believe it's October 22nd, and I will for sure be filming that because I can't imagine how big and amazing it is and how many people are going to be there and how many amazing books are going to be there, possibly, probably. I will definitely take you along for that ride. Question number 9 is, do you have any favorite quotes and any that you would like to share? I don't think I've ever put that I have like a quote on my Goodreads. I just don't keep track of that, and when I read books, I don't really read for quotes. I mostly read for like the general feelings that I get out of a book. So I don't read like thinking, oh, that's a fancy quote, I really like that and I want to put that on like notebooks or something. I mostly just read for the emotions that I get out of a book. Question number 10 is, who are your favorite authors? I don't really know if I have a favorite author. In the past I have said I really like Amber Shar as an author. It might be because I'm not that much into series, and that's probably where a lot of people really find like their favorite authors, because they love a long-standing, long-running series from them. That's not really the case for me. Question number 11 is, have you joined any groups? Last time I checked, I'm part of like 11 Goodreads groups, and I think I have read some of the books that they have read like with them at one point or another. I just think I haven't found that one group that like every pick that they have is the book that you want to read next, but that's kind of like expected, right? I'm just not good at groups, I guess. That's pretty much it for this tag. I hope that you enjoyed listening to my answer to these questions, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye bye.